Hello, friends. Welcome to another podcast. My name is Dr. Jason Wiggins, and I am your Gen Z and Millennial expert. Welcome to Wednesday. Today's date is January 20th. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. I would like to first start by mentioning I want to apologize for not having a podcast yesterday. I'd like to make sure we have podcasts at least on every Monday through Thursday and on most Fridays. However, unfortunately, we received some sad news that we had a death in the family last night. Therefore, obviously, I had to take care of some family matters. But I'm glad to be back here today. I'm refreshed. I'm excited to talk to you today. Today is a special day. If you're living in the United States or if you're around the world, you're probably very familiar with the presidential elections going on and the turmoil that we've had in the last couple of weeks. And then today was the official inauguration of now President Joe Biden and First Lady Kamala Harris. It has been quite the change of pace. And regardless of what political spectrum you're on, I think what's really stood out today for me was a symbolic of what democracy is. Democracy is where the people speak. Democracy is about the reverence of our history from our founders of the country of the United States to where we are today and how important the democracy is for everybody. And really, as I was listening to the inauguration and knowing what President Joe Biden has been through in his lifetime, through the loss of his son Beau and a lot of family tragedies along the way and a stuttering issue he had growing up, he was the youngest initial senator at the age of 29, I believe, and now he is the oldest president of the United States. So it has been a long road for him to become now the 46th president of the United States. But what I really want to talk about today that relates to millennials and Gen Z is the importance of being professional, being ethical, being moral, being true to yourself, and doing the right thing. I believe, an open and honest, transparent way of living our life will open the doors to so many opportunities that would otherwise be closed. And what do I mean by that? Individuals that are authentic, transparent, down to earth, moral, honest, ethical, those are the people that you trust and you instill in power and leadership positions where they are effective and ultimately get things done. And when I say ultimately get things done, I mean they lead by example. Again, as we use the current president, Joe Biden, he actually recently told his individuals within the White House and all those that work for him, if I catch you one time not being nice to others or putting others down, you will be fired on the spot. He just made that statement today to his new employees at the White House. And it's so important because the way the White House was ran before, it was more of a, how do you say it? It was a beaten down effect. It was my way or the highway. And unfortunately, that is just not what leadership is, regardless of what political spectrum you're on. Leadership is about the ability to be honest, transparent, moral, and those are the key characteristics that Gen Z and millennials can adhere to as you move up in your roles, your leadership roles, and move on within either your current organization or a new organization. Now, let's take a step back for a second. We all make mistakes in our life. I have made more than I wish to share, but I probably will share because I usually share everything that has happened to me and how I can correlate that with what happens to Gen Z and millennials. I can tell you when you make mistakes in your current job or you do something that may have not been honest or transparent or ethical or moral, guess what? Your current your current employer has noticed it, and it will likely affect the opportunity for you to advance in your current position. Now, take an inventory of your current work situation. If you're in that work situation and you feel like, boy, I've been in some dicey situations that will not allow me to move forward within my organization because I know that I've made a lot of mistakes and I know I haven't always been honest, ethical, moral, and I haven't always made the right decisions, but I want to change. Unfortunately, in a lot of cases, when you're in a situation like that with a current employer, there's not going to be much that will likely be effective to have you promoted into a further leadership position because the mistakes have been made and the stock has been taken. And therefore, the best chance is to find a new organization, a new company that where you can go in and not make the same mistakes. Earlier in my career, especially when I was a young leader / manager, I was always hopping around, always wanted to be the one that was heard. I had the greatest ideas. I was the one always opening my mouth. And guess what? Maybe I did, or maybe I did not have the best ideas. But what it showed is I lacked some professionalism within the organization because I wasn't good at listening. I was better at talking and talking about ideas that I had. Well, guess what? I'm still talking today. I'm talking on the podcast. But the key thing is you have to take a step back and listen and understand. And if you listen and understand, and you may have heard this quote before, there's a reason why the good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Because we should listen twice the amount of time that we speak. And some of the most cerebral thinkers are the individuals that tend to listen, comprehend, and then formulate their ideas and then move forward. Now, in leadership positions, you don't always have that opportunity. Sometimes you have to act on the fly. You don't have a chance to ascertain all the information and then determine, through a deep, thorough analysis of what the situation is. I want to make sure that I drive this point home. The point of if you made a mistake and you can right the wrong, then right the wrong with your current organization. But if you feel that there is no way that you can right the wrongs that you did, and I've been there, I've made some tragic mistakes that unfortunately curtailed my career early on before I obtained my doctoral degree. But those mistakes I made, I learned from them. And then I moved on to another organization and I learned some more. And then I moved on to another organization. And that's where I stand right now. I made a lot of mistakes. I said a lot of wrong things. I made some poor decisions. But the key thing is I was always transparent. I was always moral. I was always ethical. And those are the key traits. No matter where you go, what you do, you can buy a lot of stock by having those traits. Nobody can take away your dignity, your moral, your ethical compass. Those are key aspects that every employer wants to identify with their employee. They want to know that they have the right individual in the right situation to help grow their business, and knowing that they are leading their business and are operating and acting in the best interest of the organization. And that is key. Employers want to know that you, as a leader, are being moral, are being ethical, are being honest, are being transparent, and overall looking to make the best business decision for the organization. And as Gen Z and millennials, that means a lot because we've talked about in previous podcasts the competition. The competition is ferocious. Everybody's trying to find the greatest job. Everybody's trying to work for the greatest organizations. And that competition started from when you were young boys and girls, and now you're in the corporate setting, or you're growing your resume, or you're competing in school to find out who can have the best grades. No matter what it is, it's always competition. But remember, you will always be found out if you're not honest, if you're not transparent, if you choose to lie, you choose to deceit, and you choose to blame somebody else. Guess what? You will eventually be caught. At some point, somebody is going to pull the rug out from under you. And I can tell you that no matter what you do in your career, sometimes you can commit career suicide. What is career suicide? Career suicide is if you're in a specific industry where you're doing very well and you choose to lie, or you choose to do something that you know is wrong, but you do it anyway. If you turn on the company and you do something that is going to damage the company, these are things that will come back to haunt you. I want to make sure that I drive that point home. But guess what? I know together, if you are honest and you're moral and you have the best interest of your organization, that means you have the best interest of your career development, your path, how you're going to move forward. But make sure that you articulate how you're going to do it, how you're going to grow yourself. Your growth development is extremely important. So no matter where you are within your career, if you're an up-and-coming executive in a C-suite, or you're just getting out of school looking for your first job, or you're trying to determine what is the best career for me, what is the best industry for me, or the fourth one is I have not a clue what I want to do. Well, all four of those are certain development paths that we have been at one time in our lives. But guess what? Whatever decision you make, sometimes I've always said it's better to be lucky than good, but you also have to devise your own path. You have to determine what is that path that I want to do. Do I want to do this industry, or do I want to do this job, or do I want to grow within an organization? But whatever I do, I know that professionalism is key to my success. Being reverent, being professional, doing the right thing not only for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for your career, for your organization you work for. No matter what you do, is you have to sleep at night. You have to look in the mirror. And if you say, I don't like who I am, then when you say that, ask yourself, what is it that you don't like? And then determine how you're going to fix it. And as I mentioned before, if you've done too many wrongs and you can't right that wrong or right those wrongs, then you probably either need to change organizations, change careers, whatever it may be. But you could always change. But when you change, make sure you're moral, make sure you're transparent, honest, and you have the right path moving forward. As Gen Z and millennials, you guys are the smartest generation. You guys have the most tools, and you have the ability beyond anybody else. So no matter what anybody tells you, keep moving forward. If you made a mistake, keep moving forward, whatever you need to do. But be honest, be transparent, be ethical, and be moral. So as always, I want to thank everybody for listening. This is the daily podcast, Monday through Thursday and on most Fridays, unless, of course, we have an emergency like we did yesterday. And I do apologize, but if we're not on for a day, please feel free to go listen to our other podcasts. I believe we have about 8. This is number 90, so we have 89 previous episodes. And as always, I want to thank you for your listenership. I appreciate it. And you can get in touch with me via the website, genzandmillennialexpert.com, or via my email, jason@jwigginsconsulting.com. So as always, if it's the morning, afternoon, or night, be safe, take care, and I look forward to talking to you again on Thursday, January 21st. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.